Join me as I dive deep into the tough decision of whether it is time to walk away from a relationship. I'll be sharing my personal journey and the signs I have learned to look for. Relationships are complex. To say the least, they are full of ups and downs, twists and turns. Sometimes it is hard to know when it is time to hang in there and walk through the tough stuff, and when it is time to acknowledge that it is just not meant to be. Lack of communication is one of the most common challenges people face in relationships. When you stop talking or start talking at each other instead of to each other, things can quickly go downhill. Emotional distance is another major hurdle. When you start to feel like you are just two strangers living in the same space, it is hard to keep the spark alive. And then there are the repeated conflicts that can drain the life out of you. The constant argue, the feeling like you are never going to see eye to eye. It is exhausting and it can be really difficult to know when it is time to say enough is enough. Some relationships are just not meant to last, and that is okay. But how do you know when it is time to let go? Sometimes it is the little things that start to add up. The way your partner looks at you, the way they talk to you, the way they prioritize their own needs over yours. Sometimes it is the big things, the deal breakers, the non-negotiables. But no matter what it is always a tough decision to make. Do you stick it out and hope things get better? Or do you take a deep breath and walk away? It is not an easy choice, but sometimes it is the only choice that makes sense. I think about all the times I settled for less because I was scared of being alone. I stayed in relationships way longer than I should have, just because I didn't want to be single. But the truth is, being alone is not the worst thing in the world. In fact, it can be incredibly liberating. You get to rediscover who you are, what you want, and what makes you happy. You get to focus on your own personal growth without having to consider anyone else's feelings or needs. And you know what? That can be incredibly empowering. My friend Sarah was in a relationship that was going nowhere fast. They had been together for years, but it was just a series of empty promises and unmet expectations. She was miserable, but she was scared to leave because she thought she would never find anyone else. It took her a while, but eventually she realized that it was okay to let go, that she was worthy of so much more than what she was getting. It wasn't easy, but she took a deep breath and walked away. And you know what? It was the best decision she ever made. I want to leave you with a few key takeaways. If you're feeling unhappy, unfulfilled, or just plain stuck in your relationship, it might be time to take a step back and reevaluate. Are you feeling valued, heard, or seen? Or are you just going through the motions, hoping things will get better someday? Remember, sometimes walking away is the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for the other person. Thanks so much for watching, and I would love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever had to make the tough decision to walk away from a relationship? What signs told you it was time to go? Let's chat. And if you want to explore more on relationships dynamics, be sure to check out my other videos. There is heaps of valuable content just waiting for you. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell so that you'll be the first person to be notified each time I publish a new video. I will catch you in the next video.